Damn. Hello, hello. Yeah, so that didn't work. I had to clip the stream. And it is still choppy. Still bad connection. So don't know what that's about. I don't think it's a problem on my side. I think it's a internet service provider problem because I restarted everything. I restarted my computer, restarted my modem. I think it's just a bad day for it. So let's just stream for a little longer, see if it gets better or anything like that. And if it doesn't, I'll just get off. I mean, I'll keep drawing, but I'll stop stream since this seems probably unwatchable because I'm losing about 20% of my frames in general. You guys will just have to draw on your own, and I'll draw on my own. Hello, 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 everyone. It ain't working. I risked it all to try to fix it, but it did not work, so we'll see. Probably hop off if it doesn't get any better. We will live to stream another day. You guys will just need to live without my incredible insights into art for a day. Stream seems okay to me for now. Not for long. Not for long. What's your thought process when blocking the values? Nothing really. Not when I work like this. It's all intuitive. My mind is running processes I don't understand. Well, I do understand them, but my mind is running them subconsciously. So what am I trying to say? It's like, if you really asked me to break it down, I could tell you literally everything about every value that I'm using. And the modeling factors and the way shadows are cast, just everything down to granular detail. But it would be disingenuous as to how I'm actually working. I'm not thinking about any of that when I put this stuff down. I'm just having fun like a kid. That's it. You surely have been asked this question a million times, but how do you decide what to work on next? I want to start an illustration, but I'm finding it hard to decide. Thanks. Yeah, I don't decide. I just know that it's time to make some art, and I see what happens, and that's it. This picture has become more still and pensive instead of combat, like I had thought. But whatever, let's roll with it. Maybe I can find some way to make it cool. But to my point, like I just said, I have no idea what I'm doing. And I don't decide what I do next. At least not when I'm sketching like this. Like, I just draw and I see what happens. Obviously, sometimes I have a very specific goal, but you know, that came to me over dinner, in the shower, just some other context. How do you decide to decide? Getting all sorts of warnings from YouTube and OBS. Follow up if you don't mind. I guess if you can't have an art job and have to remain a hobbyist, is it unreasonable to expect to eventually improve to the level of a pro over a longer period of time? Lots of your favorite artists don't work in art. They just don't talk about it because they're embarrassed or something like that. Or they think it will change people's perceptions. But take it from someone who has had the luck of being friends with lots of the most famous artists in the world and stuff like that. You meet them in person, you know, you become friends with them. You're like, oh, you have 1 million followers on Instagram. You don't do this as a job. You can't, you know, you can't make any money off of it. You're, you know, you own a restaurant, you're a project manager, you're a coder. You make your money elsewise. They just don't talk about it. So you can absolutely be, you know, world-class level and not be a pro, right? That's the case for lots of your favorite artists. I'm not going to say their names because, you know, they're not talking about it for a reason usually, you know, and I don't want to blow up their spot, but... There's a lot of assuming that goes on in the art world. People just assume if you make great quality work that that you're a professional, that's how you make your money, but it's just an assumption. Give me 1 second. Moving stuff. You guys know I gotta answer the moving stuff quickly. Steven, what do you recommend a beginner to exercise daily, purely drawing for fun? Yeah, that is what I would recommend. I mean, for a true beginner, I think nothing is more important than developing a deeply intuitive relationship with drawing. I think that's the most important thing. What are the things that you think amateur artists on progress should stay away from, excluding obvious things outside the art world? Amateur artists should stay away from? I don't know. I don't think art is about having a list of things to avoid or something like that. I think you should leave almost everything on the table. You know, there's really, even far out at the extremes, it's like, even if I wanted to say something like, oh, don't do a lot of drugs, it's like, Alex Gray paints his LSD visions and he's got a better career than you could ever dream for. So, like, literally, what can you say no to, you know? Like, art's not about there being rules or this guy said I should do this and avoid that. It's like, you got to find your own way, you know? You can't listen to anybody else. Everything's up for grabs in art. Doesn't Alex Gray claim he never did drugs? I don't know who told you that, but that is 100% untrue. He proudly tells his drug stories. How LSD saved his life. He explains how he saw the idea for paintings on a trip on such and such. Yeah, that is just completely untrue. He does the opposite of that. He talks about his drug use all the time. Not a bad color scheme, but I don't know. I'm not feeling it. Oh God, moving. Valor says, roasting Ahmed as always, you bet. Roast away, roast away. Man, you could try to, man, it's like so hard to get some beef going between artists, you know? Not conflict focused people, you know? Trying to start some fights to get a little bit of marketing going, you know? All press is good press, and it's just like, you get someone's hackles up for a second, and then because they're artists, like 2 days later, they come back like, man, I really thought a lot about what you said, and you know, now I was trying to view it from your perspective, and it's just like, yeah, I think you're right, and I've got a lot to learn and stuff like that. It's like, you can't keep artists mad for very long. They're very prone to self-hatred and guilt complexes, so it's very difficult to get them to maintain levels of vitriol, the necessary levels of opprobrium and vitriol. YouTube won't stop telling me like, hey, your stream's all messed up. Hey, it ain't right. Hey, you got problems. It's like, I know, YouTube. I tried. I blew all of my stream momentum and dumped out of the stream and everything. And it's just not working. Hi, Joey. What's up, bud? Can you actually disable YouTube notifications as a YouTube streamer? I don't know how. I mean, my feed over there is just a mess. You know, you can close the notification, but then it just pops up again 10 minutes later. It's like, how do I tell it, like, yeah, I know, shut up. Nick says, do you usually mind or consciously look for lines of action, or does it all happen automatically now? Well, it all happening automatically would imply it always works out great, but I used to look for them consciously. You know, I think you got to go through a period where you sort of are on the lookout for them, but now with almost anything in art, any principle or tool or something like that, it's all used for diagnostics only. I only start addressing those things consciously when something goes wrong, when I can tell that something is not working or it's not as good as it could be. I come back to it all consciously when things are bad. But as I've said before, when I'm actually putting pencil to paper, I don't think. I draw completely subconsciously. There is not, the moment that I'm doing this, those moments, there is not a thought in my head, you know? I might as well be scribbling in a baby's sketchbook, not even a kid's sketchbook, the sketchbook of a baby. Draw now, fix later. And I think that that's fine and it works out because I'm not convinced that I'm the person doing this. There is no self. I am a center of gravity. This is all just the running process of a panoply of influences that I cannot understand, and they are what produce this. And if I were to try to interject myself, it would only be another influence, which would be equal amongst many. So I'm free to interject myself, remove myself, it doesn't matter. What's going to happen is going to happen. And the only time that that's a problem or any sort of philosophical issue is when I need to negotiate my rate. As soon as we're talking about my rate, suddenly I am the absolute agent of everything in the center of the universe, and the idea that you would not pay me the amount that I know I'm worth for the treasures that I wrought out of reality with my pain and sweat, you're evil and you're a capitalist pig dog, and I refuse the job. Get out of there, Nick. You gotta get out of there. Doesn't the ability to draw without thinking come from your very extensive experience? You seem to say that a beginner can have the same experience, but how can it be? Of course a beginner can have the same experience. You just assume that that experience must produce something other people would think is good, right? But you need to remove that assumption. A beginner can, of course, have the same experience. It's just that you won't accept it. You won't think it's right or worthy or good just because the beginner in that state of non-presence will produce a more naive drawing. But the beginner at their best, being as conscious as possible, will also produce a naive drawing. So yeah, and speaking from personal experience, like, you must not forget, I have also been a beginner, and I have also I've made many thousand more bad drawings than I have made decent drawings. And the way that I draw, my experience was, yes, I went through periods where I was struggling, where I did make conscious efforts to think about everything, right? But those were not the automatic role. Those were me being like, well, I need to try to be more thoughtful and putting on this mask and trying to be as conscious as possible. But the vast majority of my time drawing, both as an experienced person and an inexperienced person, was done in that mode, was done by simply drawing. You know, the luckiest thing that has ever happened for me, or maybe the luckiest part of my art progress, was that I never went through a period where I would not let myself just draw. You know, that never made sense to me. It was always clear to me that you needed to sketch and you needed to draw happily. Yeah, I was never confused about that point. Do you have any tips on telling story through art? I'm pretty decent technically, but I'm lost in how to use technical skill to say something other than making superficial paintings with no essence. If you don't have a story, you can't tell a story. I would recommend Save the Cat by, what's his name? Is it Blake Snyder? Yeah, Blake Snyder. Google says it's a novel. It's not a novel. That's my recommendation. That was my required reading in my dramatic narrative class. It's not perfect, but it's the most accessible book on storytelling I've ever encountered. Most other stuff gets a bit dense, and most people won't actually read it. Thank you, Pablo. Thanks for swinging by. This is such a great confidence boost, painting while you draw. I'm very glad to hear. Has stream gotten any better or still choppy? I see a lot of drop frames on my OBS, but my YouTube's telling me excellent connection. My guess is it's not good. No music? No. I've been talking enough on stream that I don't really, it's just a distraction for me to have music on. My incessant chatter is filling the void. No problem, boo-boo. Vega says, hey, Steven, I know you hate anime, but have you ever seen the mecha designs for Evangelion? Maybe you'll like it. Yeah, I've seen them, and I hate them. I have seen them and hated them already. No need for me to check that out again. Bad idea to do this without a color field defined. Let's do more straightforward, like moonlight. Hope you render it out more. Well, I'll try. Oh. LOL, not gonna lie, this piece so far does remind me of Shinji's Eva from Evangelion. Just because of a color, huh? Cool. You know there's only like 15 hues, right? Why do you hate anime? I mean, you know, I don't actually hate it, just for the record. I'm just messing around when I say I hate it. I don't actually hate it. I feel nothing for it. So I could barely hate it. You know, it's just so deeply uninteresting that it couldn't even, I would honor anime if I could say I hated it, but it's just, it produces such a numb, blank feeling inside of me that, yeah, I can't even get up to hate. Which anime do you like? should be clear that none, right? That should be pretty clear. How does your course help draw from imagination? Is it just draw until you have a large library? No, it is not a like a visual library kind of a thing. It is predicated on trying to experience the forms as real, to feel like you are sculpting structures as you render them. That's how it helps with form. And explaining the optical phenomena that produce the 3D illusion of form, the modeling factors and the way that reflected light works, everything like that. Steven, have you ever been in a fight? Every time I meet someone who loves anime, I wind up getting punched in the face. No, I've never been in a fight. I'm not a fighter. I've been mugged and had conflicts and stuff like that, but I'm not a throw punches kind of a guy. I'm pretty tactful at diffusing situations. Art-related question. Are you working in 3-point perspective or curvilinear? No perspective. Since I'm just sort of free-handing it, I guess if you wanted to be technical, you would just say it's curvilinear, but I have made no conscious thoughts about perspective on this drawing. I did spend quite a bit of time this morning doing perspective work. Before I started streaming, I'd already been drawing for like 2 hours, doing perspective drafting demonstrations for my course, preparing detailed diagrams. Steven draw anime, please. Is his frickin' handle. That's funny. I'm not, at this point, I'm really not sure if I would like, I'm not 100% sure I would draw anime to save my wife's life. Like if you guys had me all cornered, kangaroo court, knife to her throat, sketchbook in front of me, like you can prevent all of this, all you have to do is draw a cute anime girl. I'm not confident my wife would make it out of that situation alive. You know? It's not the coolest thing I've ever said. I'm just trying to be honest, you know? And knowing my wife, she'd be like, "Don't do it, Steven. It'll be okay. I'll see you beyond the veil. Don't listen to them." I think Steven is just jealous of the fact that he can't be one of them anime cool kids. I mean, that definitely has to be a part of it. I can't deny that has to be contributing. Whoa. I think even my chat is lagging because I keep getting all of my messages in a burst. My internet is messed up today. Yo, my internet is messed up today. I love Princess Mononoke as well, one of my faves. Ghost in the Shell is an interesting philosophy movie. Psychopass was interesting from a philosophical perspective as well. Yeah, I mean, I doubt it, but okay. Monster is the best psychological horror, also dubious, extremely dubious claim. On a more stream-fitting subject, why does this troll get viciously attacked when skinny dipping in the night? It's the bet you got to catch them off guard. I mean, it's the best time to get a troll. You've got to catch them off guard. Ghost in the Shell really goes deep into what exactly it means to be human. Oh my god, that's so absurd. There's a whole, I mean, literally, like from the first writings we have, it's been nothing but deep explorations of what it means to be human. But man, Ghost in the Shell gets the credit, right? Oh my god, it's okay to just love the art form because it has cute anime girls. You don't have to pretend it's good or that there's amazing philosophy in it. It's just like, come on guys, we all calm down. We all know what's really going on here. We all know what's really going on here. Vampire Hunter D Blood. Look up Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. Vampire Hunter D looks pretty cool. That's some cool looking stuff right there. It's been a long time since I read it. You know, I read it when I bought it when it came out years and years ago, but it's an excellent book. I remember it being great. His other book, Imaginative Realism, is very good as well. Steven, you laugh, but Ghost in the Shell really is trying to tackle big questions like what is consciousness? Can a robot be conscious? Yeah, I saw it. I remember what it tried to do. I remember. Studio Ghibli produces anime movies. Those movies are all masterpieces, and you can't deny that, Steven. Yeah, I've seen a lot of Ghibli movies. They're cute. They're real cute, you know. I remember really liking My Neighbor Totoro before I got bored and stopped it in the middle and then never went back to it. It was just like, oh yeah, I get it. Nothing happens in this movie. It's just like really quiet moments, and the animation is really interesting because it catches all the little detail, the recordings. Oh man. It's so great that the stream stopped while he was going on it. Yeah, even my stream is an anime fanboy. It's like, we can't let him say that. We can't let him say that totally true thing about My Neighbor Totoro. Did you see Spirited Away, Steven? Yes. Also very cute. Seen Spirited Away, seen My Neighbor Totoro, well, seen half of My Neighbor Totoro. Seen Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind. What other ones? It's hard to remember which ones I've seen because they're all so alike. They're just so similar and always kind of telling the same story. Always the same story of a heroic little girl. Kiki's Moving Service. That's Ghibli, right? Bye, Vinay. I don't like any of these. None of these. New drawing. Gotta watch the darker ones, Princess Mononoke. What are you talking about? Like what? There's darker colors? Like none of them are dark. Dark. You don't get it, Steven. The other half of Totoro talks about the inner dialogue of humanity and the eternal struggle of life in the hood. Yeah, I'm sure I really missed something super memorable on the other side of My Neighbor Totoro. Steven, how did you learn to draw anatomy from imagination? A lot of what you're seeing, just thousands and thousands of sketches like this one, this one, this one, just doing it over and over and over again. What about French animation, like Fantastic Planet or Triplets of Belleville? I saw Triplets of Belleville. That was interesting. Definitely interesting. Again, fun. You know? I remember it being cute and fun. I don't really, yeah, it's kind of faded from memory. All I really remember is like the giant legs on the biker character. Steven is the anti-anime that we didn't know we needed. I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know. I guess I hold a... I don't know. There's tons of artists that don't like anime. You know, the art world is not the art world is not predicated on anime. Not even today. Is there any animated piece you've seen that you really liked? Really liked. I mean, I've enjoyed a lot of it while watching it. You know, it depends what stratum of really liked you're interested in, you know? I don't think like any of my... Like if I tried to make a list of like my top 10 favorite media of any kind, I don't think any of it is animated. But I've liked plenty of it, you know? It's always fun to go watch like a Pixar movie and stuff like that, and you know, it's cute because it's just so, you know, it's so anodyne and saccharine, and it's just so sweet, and you know you're safe, and you don't have to experience anything challenging, and you know everything's going to be all right at the end. And it's always fun to laugh when they put in the jokes that are like meant for the adult. It's like, how cute, they're punching above their weight. It's like somebody writing a Yelp review. So there's a lot of reasons to enjoy stuff like Pixar and Disney movies and stuff like that. What are your thoughts about contemporary art, e.g. those canvases with abstract paintings, non-sept sculptures, etc.? I probably have a more positive view than most people in our communities. You know, I'm a New Yorker, so I've grown up surrounded by that stuff, and I've seen a lot of it and gone to openings and stuff like that. It's just like any other art form. There's good stuff and there's bad stuff. I've seen plenty of it that I've liked. I went to the Whitney Biennial this year and was deeply disappointed. I didn't see anything I liked, and or anything really. They had a few figurative sculptures that were good, but it's like that's not what we're looking for in this question. You know, like amongst the weird stuff, I didn't see anything that I liked, which is unusual. You know, usually when I go to a big show like that, there's something surprising in there that I wind up enjoying, but I didn't catch any this year. Just wasn't for me this year. But a lot of it's very good. It's not for me, like I wouldn't go make stuff like that, but I can definitely acknowledge that when someone really just has no rails on them like that, right? Like every time we make art, we're almost being uncreative by definition. Because whenever I sit down, I want to make art, I know I'm going to draw something. It's like I've closed myself off to an entire universe of artistic possibilities by just narrowing down on that. The kinds of artists who have no rails on them, when they try to solve an artistic problem or be creative, they don't know at all what it's going to be yet. The people who handle that well and are real, actual, proficient artists at that, they can make some pretty wild things. They can make some pretty wild things. Sir Steve, you like Berserk, Vinland Saga, and Vagabond? They are mangas. I have not read Vinland Saga or Vagabond. I have read some of Berserk. Again, I could tell Berserk was good. I get it. But I wasn't going to read it. You know, I just reached a point where I was like, okay, you know, I get it. Now it's done. It's not going to, I wasn't going to consume the whole thing, you know? I wish I'd never seen, I would have got further if I'd never seen images of where it winds up. No spoilers, but like, how do I say it without spoilers? Shots I saw of the crew he winds up with, I'm like, I'm not reading that. Not filling my brain with hundreds of frames of that crew, you know? It's just not for me. It's not for me. It's, you know, it's for other people, but it's not for me. Let's open that sketch I did on stream a couple days ago, because that had a combat feeling as well. I don't think I want to keep going on it, just to remember what was on my mind. Now, all of these notifications from YouTube about how bad my internet is today are really bothering me. I wish I could turn them off. They're actually quite endearing after, well, the other crew. Had a great time watching you roast anime today, Steven, but I'll have to go. Have a good drawing session. Thank you. What tops the charts for best media you've seen and really like and recommend? It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I mean, just from my exposure to art and stuff like that, I don't really feel like there can like be a best for something. And I'm very, eclectic with my taste, and my favorite thing is experiencing something new. So almost by definition, that screws me, right? Because once I'm very familiar with something, it's never going to have the shine of something different, like really different. So it would be very difficult for me to say that. What's some favorite stuff? Yeah, hard to say. I think even movies that I used to love, it's like, it feels weird to say they're my favorite now, because it's like, well, I watched them 100 times. Now they're not that interesting, Unfortunately, I'm kind of like a what's been going on lately kind of a guy, I like to be surprised. And I think that goes for a lot of people who are like producers of art. You're more... The things that I love the most are the things that when I experience them, watch them, read them, whatever, there's a moment where I'm like, how did you even get there in your head? How did that author, that creator even think to do that there? That's the stuff that I love the most. That's the stuff that I love the most. So that's a very, what's been going on lately, what's weird and new lately kind of a thing. Let's see, what movies stand out lately? I always go back to Parasite. I feel like Parasite's one of my favorite movies that I've seen in probably like the past 5 years or something like that. And Parasite's a pretty classic story structure, but the way it's told, I remember the whole time I was watching it, I felt surprised the whole time. It was great. Did you like Tenet? Yeah, I think Tenet has a lot of problems, but because I love stuff that's experiencing stuff that feels new and exciting like that, I really liked it. I enjoyed watching it. Have you ever seen The Holy Mountain? Yes. I've seen a few Jodorowsky movies. I've seen El Topo, Holy Mountain, part 1 of his autobiography. What is it? Eternal Poetry or whatever it is. Very, very good. Hard to recommend. Hard to recommend. I mean, it's good for me in a certain number of my moods, but hard to recommend for sure. Yeah, I can't remember. Troy says Parasite really surprised me too. Everything Everywhere All at Once. Yeah, I watched it. It was good. I liked it a lot. I think it got a little overhyped for me there. That fight scene though, you know the one I'm talking about with the... Yeah, no spoilers. Thought it was very good. Pig was great. Pig was the first movie I saw in theaters after it was like possible to go to a movie theater after lockdown. Saw it with my wife. We got food, like real food, and ate it at the theater as one of those theaters with like the little tray tables. You could like have a meal. Man, I have really warm memories of Pig. Pig was great. I think I cried. Or was it my wife cried? I think my wife cried and she was like, what the fuck? I'm crying in this movie? I thought Pig was great. Pig, Pig was after the last time I taught dramatic narrative at Art Center, but if I taught it again, I think I would use Pig as the example movie for how to do a climax. I thought Pig's climax is I was awestruck. I was like, yeah, that's it right there. That's how you make a climax that is theme, not action. I really, really liked Pig. Really well put together movie. Whiplash was good. Whiplash is really good. I'm a sucker for those movies, though. I'm a sucker because, I did the art thing. I'm a sucker for any movie where someone gets really good at something. So Whiplash, Black Swan. Black Swan's a favorite because of that. Just seeing I really connect with the obsession to want to be good at something. So Whiplash has that for me. Black Swan has that for me. I really love The Prestige by Christopher Nolan. That one has a lot of themes that just resonate with me, wanting to do something magical, difficult, wanting to improve at it, wanting to be the best at it, uncontrollable jealousy leading to murderous rage at the idea that someone does it better to you. It's just like, I don't even care if it's a good movie or not. Those movies for me just they trigger me. They trigger me on the theme stuff. So I love all those movies. Steven, did you see The Lighthouse? Yeah, I thought The Lighthouse was great. I love that director. The guy who did I forget his name. I'm bad with names, but the guy who did The Lighthouse is the same guy who did The Witch. The Witch might be my favorite movie. now that we're talking about it, The Witch is at least top 3. I love The Witch. I was amazed when I saw The Witch, man. I couldn't believe how good it was while being written like that, while being borderline historically accurate language. I was awestruck. I could not believe how good The Witch was while being written like that. And comprehensible while still being... It's almost just a mood piece. When you don't understand what they're saying, it's raw abstraction at a certain point. I love The Witch. But yeah, his movies, Robert Eggers, yeah. The Witch, Lighthouse, The Northman, which I just saw a few days ago. Very good. Very, very good. Persona didn't like the ending of Parasite. I love the ending of Parasite. Again, yeah, Parasite really stands out to me over the last few years. It was like, I've liked a lot of movies. I've loved a lot of movies, but I'm a midpoint guy. I'm actually, from, what I like about stories, from teaching story, my favorite thing about stories is the midpoint, not the climax. The midpoint of Parasite, I actually, as an involuntary response, I actually stood up and said, no fucking way. It amazed me. It amazed me. That was one of those moments where I was just like, how do you even get there in your head? How do you even get there in your head? Joker, great performance by Joaquin Phoenix. I don't know. It wasn't really, it didn't, I'm done with comic book movies. I don't really care about comic book movies. Which scene? No spoilers. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen Parasite. But it's the literal midpoint. Literally, I know because Parasite is one of the movies I use to teach dramatic narrative. So I put it on my story structure and timeline. The midpoint of Parasite is literally, it's to the frame, the exact middle of the movie in the timeline. So, yeah, it's exactly the middle of the movie, which, good craftsmanship, you know? Steven, if you like Parasite, you should see more Korean films. They have so many gems. Yeah, no, I'm into it. Yeah, I have a long list that I've built of Korean movies I've got to watch. At the top of that right now is Old Boy. I've got a good feeling about Old Boy. I got to watch that. Have you ever seen 1976 Best Picture winner Rocky? Yes, I have, Joseph. Yes, I have. Have you seen Thirst, movie with same lead actor as Parasite about vampire priest? No, I have not. Interesting. Lighthouse is awesome. Yeah, Lighthouse is cool. Yeah, Joker, yeah, great performance by Joaquin Phoenix. I thought the climax, not the midpoint, but the climax at Joker was interesting. Cool to watch. But yeah, I didn't think it didn't really stand out to me as a great film. I'm losing my goodwill for the comic book stuff, and Joe has heard me complain about this and stuff like that, and I know it's part of the like I just said, what I like is new stuff. I like stuff that's surprising and weird. So I'm really you know, I was good on it, then I went to neutral, and unfortunately now I'm just like, comic book movies start with negative points for me now. Comic book movies start with negative points for me now. Snowpiercer, I like Snowpiercer. Snowpiercer's good. Is Snowpiercer based on a comic? Am I remembering that right? Or is it based on a Korean original? I saw the American one. Have you ever seen There Will Be Blood? Oh, of course. I mean, pure classic. I saw Daniel Day-Lewis's final movie, Phantom Thread, recently. I thought Phantom Thread was great. That ending. I mean, I say that line to my wife sometimes. Just because it's so hard to talk about movies without spoilers. I don't know. Does anyone care about spoilers for Phantom Thread? But like that line, you know, kiss me, my darling, before I'm sick. It's just like, oh, it's so, what a specific emotion to build a movie off of. Like, it all leads up to that confrontation. All of that tension, all of the anger, all of it to be dissolved in that moment where he's just like, yeah, well, I love you so much that I'll let you hurt me if it gets you off. Like, if that's what it's gonna take for you to feel like this relationship is all right, then just lay me out. Like, are you kidding me? How do you get there in your head? How do you get there in your head? Mwah! Like, amazing. Amazing. What a unique, weird emotion and relationship to craft such a complex story up to. Like, you know, I know there's other ways to interpret that, but like that hinge right there in those last, like, what is it, 4 minutes of that movie? I was like, that's how you get it, man. I mean, that is how you get it, you know? Damn. I thought Phantom Thread was great. Gangs of New York. Gangs of New York is that's an old favorite. That's a good movie. Cinedoc, New York. Yeah, I've had that one recommended several times. It's on the ambient curiosity list for sure. Do you have any so bad it's good movies? I mean, those kind of got ruined for me by The Room, you know? I've seen quite a few, but nothing beats The Room. The Room is like, how you ever gonna... It's unlikely another movie that is so bad it's good will ever reach that level. And unfortunately, because it worked so well, it's like, I feel like it has changed the landscape of that. It's almost like if you accidentally were making a movie like that, you would be aware of The Room and you would start doing it consciously, and that would ruin it, right? I think instead of so bad it's good, now it's fun to watch old movies and see how they didn't hold up. Like, what was the one I watched recently? I watched Grease a couple weeks ago. It's just like, that's fun now. Like, seeing how much these things didn't hold up, how inappropriate they are. That's like the new so bad it's good for me. That's fun. Yeah, Grease doesn't hold up. People who you are supposed to think are cool do like really reprehensible and disgusting things. And it's not like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia style where it's funny. It's like they thought it was genuinely cool when they made it. It's like, nice. Really, really bad. Even the like heartwarming classics. Like, I watched 16 Candles a few years ago for the first time, and I was like, oh my God, this was a classic? This is like, how did they get away with this? Like, 16 Candles is supposed to be like heartwarming and teen and feel good, and it's like, wow, really bad. Like, and not quality, just like really deep. Like, anyone with a lick of sense would be like, you can't, and not in some politically correct way, like, you should never treat other people that way. Like, really bad. What do you think about Hitchcock or Bergman? Haven't seen any Bergman movies. Have seen a few Hitchcocks. I thought Rear Window was great. Really good composition. But I'm a sucker for every frame in Rear Window looks like a golden age of magazine illustration painting by like Robert Fawcett or Tommy Anderson or something like that. So really, really good looking movies. I don't know much about movies. I'm usually just wowed by visuals, not visuals like in Marvel movies though. Never watched a single one there. I like practical effects and costumes. Yeah, it's a good, practical effects and costumes is good. Alien. I still love Alien. Alien for me is hard to beat. Really good movie. And I feel like, I don't know, I like that world a lot. Alien has the nostalgia kick for me because I saw it when I was a kid, but even the newer stuff like Prometheus and things like that, still cool. I still like it. Yeah, The Room was sincere. I don't know if you could ever get there again. I don't know if you could ever sincerely do that bad a job again. John Wick's cool. I'm not a gun guy, so I think I'm missing out on a lot there. It doesn't hit me like that. It wasn't like, it's a cool action movie, but it wasn't like Parasite where, I'm watching the gun moves in John Wick and I'm like, but Parasite literally made me leap out of my chair with an electric shock in my body and without a gunshot. It's like a John Wick is not going to get there, Alien holds up. Yeah, it does. To me. I think Alien holds up. They did it all right, They hide the monster. Really good production design. Excellent production design. Holy God. Visually love Dune. Yeah, I thought Dune looked really cool. I'm one of those people who wishes Dune had been a TV series. It was a good movie, but as soon as I got up As soon as I got up, as soon as my wife and I exited the theater, we just looked at each other and we were like, should have been a TV show. Should have been an 8-episode, super expensive HBO show. Did you like Arrival? Yeah, I liked Arrival. That's cool. I mean, that was an old genre, alien movie, but done from a very new angle, you know, language focused, and that was really cool, I thought. Would you consider yourself a cinephile? No. I like movies a lot, but I'm not a... By comparison to a real cinephile, not at all, you know? I'm down to watch weird stuff, old stuff, and new stuff, indie stuff, but I'm down to watch all of that. I do watch all of that, but I consider a real cinephile to be someone who like has made a conscious effort to like go back through history and like watch significant things, and I haven't done that, you know. I just watch what's interesting, you know, take recommendations. I'm into cinematography, you know. I watch like cinematography YouTube and stuff like that, so maybe in that sense I'm a cinephile, but that's mostly to inform my artistic education and things like that. Steven, 2 quick questions. What are your thoughts about the blending stump, and how long before I have to replace the kneaded eraser? I use the blending stump all the time. Check out Form from Imagination, my incredible new drawing course, if you want to learn more about how to use the blending stump. But I use it all the time. I think they're great. I think they've been inappropriately maligned by the mainstream art world. And kneaded erasers, you got to replace them every few months. That's how often I replace it. Maybe every 2 to 3 months. I replace them when, this maybe is not true for all kneaded erasers, but the ones that I use, when picking it up or just touching it, it leaves kneaded eraser residue on your fingers. For me, that's the line. I'm like, time to replace it. And then go get a new one. Have you ever watched Her? Yeah, I thought Her was good. Man, movies are great. I love movies, man. I mean, TV's good. TV's very good. I like TV too, but movies are, you know, just like when it's a really big idea done in 2 hours, you know, like a quick telling, it's like hard to beat, you know. I love movies. TV's great though. Better Call Saul, man. Better Call Saul is great. Great concept. Great execution too. Very unique. Have not seen Raised by Wolves. Talking about real cinephiles, still haven't seen Reservoir Dogs. Reservoir Dogs is good. Seen all the rest of the Tarantino movies, so I think I'm gonna wait for his 10th movie and watch 1 and 10 back to back. Cool. I've seen, what Tarantino movies have I seen? I've seen Reservoir Dogs. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I really liked that. That was a great movie to me. Oh, my stream just died. Cool. Let's see if it comes back. Come on, baby. Am I still here? Hello, stream. Okay, I'm back. My now my stream is just completely ending and not sending data to YouTube. So I think unfortunately I'm gonna have to cut it short today because it's very hard to focus, constantly worrying about oh, my stream just ended. Is it gonna come back? It's just not a good internet day. There it goes again. Ended again. Your stream will end shortly. See if it comes back. So I'm still here for you guys. Yeah, it's bumming me out. It's making it very hard to focus because I keep worrying I'm dumping out completely. So I think I'm gonna end it early today. I don't know how long I go. I like going for longer than this. I like doing longer drawing sessions than this. Only did, let's see, this one's been on for an hour and a half. What was the first one before I got disconnected? Probably half an hour, so maybe a couple hours. But let's keep chatting about movies a little bit. Let's see. Let me see what's up. Dark Crystal. I've not seen Dark Crystal. I should watch it. Other than Game of Thrones, what show or movie would you have loved to design for? Man. I would have loved to work on that first The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing. I love that movie. That would have been fun. That's a legendary crew now, though, you know? It's just pure nostalgia for a time that I missed, you know? I think with my skill set, I would have done good in those days. I think I could have been a good classic creature designer back when it was like a rare thing and stuff like that. But those days have come and gone, really. There's not much of that going on anymore. A lot of the creature designs like that are easily recycled these days. They just, you know, you put it in the deck. There's just so much free art of it that you don't even need to hire someone anymore. You're just like, it's these two put together, and then the 3D modeler does it. I came close. Like the week, I've told this story before, but the week my dad got deported, I got a job offer. I was like, you know, I would have been like 21 or 22 at this time. Like the same week my dad got deported, I got a job offer to go design on Rest in Peace Department with like an old school crew doing creatures for Rest in Peace Department with Ryan Reynolds. And it was like, yeah, it's like it had Carlos Huante on that team. It was like, damn, I could have had that for a little bit. You know, I could have felt like I had some crossover with that classic monster design life. And I would have taken it, of course, you know, in an alternate universe, you know, but it was like, that was my childhood dream, you know, and I had the email right there. I was like, come work with Carlos Huante on a bunch of monsters for Rest in Peace Department. It was like, I just had to respond, you know, my dad just got deported, so I have to like fly to New York and piece my family back together. So, you know, please hit me up for the next one, you know, but that's life, baby. You know, you got to have your priorities straight. Are you watching The Rehearsal currently? No, I am not. I'm not actually sure what that is. You a fan of Wes Anderson? Yeah. Like, seen a lot of his movies. Forget their names now. The one with the kids on the island. Classic. What's it called? Saw Isle of Dogs. Saw Grand Budapest Hotel. Gotta watch The French Dispatch. I think that's on HBO. That's on the list of movies to watch. Darjeeling Limited. Seen a lot of his movies. I think Wes Anderson's great. Have you watched The Thing? Yeah, just talked about that. Love The Thing. Alex Garland binge, Ex Machina, Annihilation, Devs. I haven't seen Devs, but liked Ex Machina, liked Annihilation. Cool movies. Does anyone wanting creatures ever ask if you can do ZBrush sculpts? I rarely get asked to do creatures anymore. Well, I guess, you know, it depends on your definition. Rarely. Like, I had a video game reach out like a couple months ago. No, not a couple months ago. Would have been God, my time is all compressed since from doing my course. So would have been last year. So it would have been like 8 months ago or something like that. I had some game team reach out and be like, do all the monsters for our game. I didn't say yes to that, but it doesn't come up a lot, you know? Creatures are... there's a lot of people wanting to do that, you know? You know, you'll find someone you can pay basically nothing to do it. You know, people just want the clout of doing creatures for movies and games. Pan's Labyrinth wasn't a favorite for me at first, but then I kept thinking about it, and over time it became an all-time favorite. It holds a special place for me. That is a beautiful movie. Yeah, that's a beautiful movie. Man, so many movies, just like, God, they're so good. Guillermo del Toro's stuff is great in general. Big fan of Guillermo del Toro. That was. I know you're joking, Joe, but it is interesting because it's like, if you're going to work in the industries, it's like, you don't know how good something's going to be. And it's like, most artists are only working on mediocre trash. So you're either going to, you have to disassociate from, if you're going to build a career on the idea that you make good stuff, if you're going to be a commercial artist, it's like, statistically speaking, it is simply not in the cards for you. And even if you work for the best companies in the world, all fame is fleeting and they will eventually fall into ignominy. So it's not about that. That's why, you know, what was exciting to me when I told that story, it was getting to work with people I respect, like Carlos Huante or something like that. It wasn't about the movie, you know? If you're going to be a commercial artist, you learn really quickly, it's just about the team, because you don't have any control over how good the product is, you know? It's just about the team. Is it fun to work on or not? Seen Under the Skin? Is that the Scarlett Johansson one? I don't think so. I have some sort of vague understanding that it's very weird, so I would check it out for sure. Strong reviews for The Rehearsal. I gotta check it out. I don't even know what it's about. I gotta investigate. It finally happened. Took a sip from the cup I cleaned my brushes in. Go munch some charcoal, man. Not good. Leaves that nice turpentine taste in your mouth. Don't want to derail the talk, but I'd like to bring this up. Books have never scared me, but when I tried Lovecraft, I actually ended up being scared of the shadows in my room for a few days. Nice. Strong reviews for Lovecraft out there. Have not seen Poltergeist. Interstellar? Cool movie. I like most of Christopher Nolan's stuff. You know, there's just not a lot of people making things like he makes on that scale. Have not seen Bacurau. Good old Turp. Yeah, Lovecraft's good. I have a sweet spot in my heart for Lovecraft. When I really just feel bottomed out, don't know what to do, feel like I don't like any music, not interested in any book, don't want to draw anything. I'm just like a vessel. Just go for a walk, listen to At the Mountains of Madness. That brings me right back. Who, Cthulhu? Yeah, I think I've seen him. Sort of a 700-foot tall reptilian dragon sort of a thing, right? Face made all out of tentacles. Constantly thrashing. You hear some sort of a mindless gibbering in your mind whenever he's around. Drips ichor everywhere he goes. Yeah, I think I've seen him. Came a-sliding out the sea. Giant tomb doors opened and he came gracefully right out. Yeah, it wasn't just him. Whole crew of deep ones all following him. Anyway, they went over them yonder mountains over there. Seemed to be on their way to some sort of outer god's ritual or meeting or something like that. Why are you boys looking for him? You've seen Black Swan? Yeah, I mentioned it before. Then them at it, so I relate. Black Swan, Whiplash. What was the other one I mentioned? The Prestige. I love The Prestige. Prestige is one of my favorite movies. I watched that over and over and over again when I was a teenager. Steven, be honest. You like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but we all know you loved it for Cliff Booth. Yeah. That's a great... I watched that movie. I think that's the only Tarantino movie I've seen twice. Have you seen Samsara? Yes. I've also seen that... What was its predecessor movie? Baccara? Or something like that. Saw a lot of season 1 of Severance. That was one of the shows my wife watched while I was busy, so I couldn't like watch it. I could hear a lot of it as she was watching it. Baraka, yeah. Yeah, I've seen Samsara and Baraka. Both excellent. Hi, Steven. I've been following you for a few years now and started my drawing journey about 4 years ago. And I always wonder how you end up with such a gorgeous composition. I always struggle to find one. Aw, man. That's very kind of you to say, but I do not have gorgeous compositions. I'm not a graceful composer. Whatever you like in my compositions is the little bit I've been able to glean from the people who inspire me. So, study the people who are really good at composition. Frank Frazetta, Degas. Degas has some of the best modern style compositions. He was one of the first painters to paint sort of in the way snapshots are taken and things like that. Movies, I love the compositions in movies. We're talking a lot about movies. God, there's so many good ones. Yeah, study the masters. That's what I did. A lot of what I understand about composition, even the stuff that involves mostly figures, is abstracted from landscape knowledge, composition ideas from the landscape. You know, check out Aldro Hibbard, George Inness, Emile Gruppe, Edward Seago, Metcalf. The people who did pure design landscape. A lot of the California Impressionists. I really like Scott Christensen, Clyde Espevage, you know, all of those guys. Really, you can abstract a lot of that information to get good compositions. I don't like I'm a big fan of formal composition, but for myself, I do... Actually, it depends on the medium. When I do pencil, I do very formal compositions. When I do digital, I do informal compositions. It's just the way it breaks down for me. I have not seen Breakfast at Tiffany's. I have seen Her. Her is very good. You said you think Ghibli movies are cute. Have you seen Nausicaa or Princess Mononoke? Yes. Seen them both. Very cute. I mean, you know. Still cute. Blue says, hello, Stephen. Hope you're having a good day. I am. I don't know how we wound up on so much movie talk. I'm having a good day, but stream is not. My internet is horrible. And it is just completely... I can't... It's not letting me concentrate. I keep looking at my stream data. Grave of the Fireflies is especially cute. Especially cute, Grave of the Fireflies. I mean, one of the most feel-good, super cute movies ever made. Oops. "2001: A Space Odyssey." Oh man, love that movie. I mean, most Kubrick is good. "2001 though is, I mean, have enough good things not been said about 2001: A Space Odyssey? Hey Zane. I know I said I'd get off, but you guys know I suck at that. It's like I want to keep drawing. It's so hard to stop drawing. "Steven, can you paint an apple, please?" Never! Never! But look, I made you some content. Daddy made you your favorite open wide. Here comes the content. Hey, Snofix. Hello, little pup. Oh, you want your cookie? Oh my god, I'm late for your cookie. Is it already 2 p.m.? Come. Sit. The demon code prevents me from declining the rock-off challenge. What are your terms? What's the cash? Well, if we win, you must take your sorry ass back to hell. Men in Black 1 is a quite fun movie. Okay, I mean, that's quality content. Look, Men in Black is quality content. Everybody knows that. I've been trying to convince you to show your Photoshop, like plugins and a motor. You have not been trying to convince me. I don't believe you. I don't remember any messages of that sort. And why would I ever give away the identity of my valuable plugins? I mean, they're the reason that I'm a successful artist. I don't want you to succeed. And you'll succeed if you know my plugins. So I don't want to give away my job opportunities like that. Get away from my plugins. Hello, Steven. Quick question. Started using a smudge stick a couple days ago, and I was wondering when I should replace one. I use mine for a long time. I just replace them when they start falling apart, like they start pilling and they start unwrapping and stuff like that. Can we ever see some pictures of your photo bashed work? I could show it if I remembered something that was published right now. Most of the photo bash work that I have done is client facing though. Very little of it gets published. What can I think of off the top of my head? What was published marketing art? Can I get this in high res, please? I can't find it in high res, but I did this years and years ago. This is just the first one that came to the top of my head. The marketing art for the Making of Harry Potter studio tour. That's a photo bash job. It's all very pixelated. Risky click, I would say. I'm not gonna open that because I don't know what's on their website. Kind of broke right now. I'm gonna get saving for the course. That's right. Very smart of you. You get the course. You get the course. I wish you guys knew how gratifying it is to have worked so hard on something and to be proud of something enough that I genuinely feel comfortable saying, yeah, you should save up for it. Save your money and get it. I'm I'm about as self-critical as any artist you'd ever meet. So I never would have said that about basically anything else. It feels amazing to have done something where I actually feel comfortable saying, yeah, you should save for it. It'll be worth your money. Hello, Steven. Should we avoid 50% shadow and 50% light when it comes to values? I mean, it's a good rule of thumb to look for an unequal distribution of light shapes and shadow shapes, but it can also look good if it's evenly split. I wouldn't give up on a picture that feels good just because its values are evenly distributed, you know? How do you draw inside the lines on the same layer? You usually can't. It's not a perfect solution, but you can set your brush mode in Photoshop to behind, and then that'll let you color inside the lines on the same layer, but it restricts you in other ways. It's not how, and then it's just not. It's not flexible moving forward. But if for some reason you really don't want your colors on another layer, you can set your brush to behind. I don't know if other programs have that functionality, but Photoshop does. I really want Adobe to stop breaking things that work perfectly well. Like, you see this? See how it's not doing anything? See how the smudge tool just doesn't work? Hello, Steven. I love drawing while listening to your videos. Thank you for making them. My pleasure. And thank you for listening. Kind of an odd question, but what muscle groups do you enjoy painting, designing the most? Definitely the arm. Arm's my favorite. I like the arm and the back. Thank you, Para. Look, don't get me started on Adobe Visual. Nobody here wants that. They hear it enough. Oof, it's getting hot today in New York. Have you checked out that Earth's World interview yet? Yes, I did. It was cool hearing Earth talk about his story. I hadn't heard like how he got into it and stuff like that before. a good book to understand values. You need to understand values within the context of what the goal is, you know? What defines good values changes depending on if you're modeling form, if you're designing entire compositions, if you're designing a product, if you're doing an illustration. Like, values are just an element of design, so it depends on the goal. So there's no good books on good values in abstraction. There's good books on their use in one of those particular applications, but not in general. At least not one I know. And if there was, then by definition, a lot of it would be irrelevant to your particular goals. So just get the course, right? That's right. You get the course. You get the course. I mean, you get it. It's that simple. Don't make a big thing out of it. You just get it. You just get it. Oh, but it's too expensive. I can't afford it. Sell your grandmother. Sell her. I don't care. You do whatever it takes. You do whatever it takes to get the course. It's getting dangerously close to that zone where lunch will get too close to dinner. So I'll wind up skipping lunch entirely and going hungry. Hello, Alexander. Alexander. Looks like the Godfather when you talk like this. Yeah, people get all sorts of different vibes from that voice. Maybe I gotta switch it up. Because I don't know what the heck that voice is supposed to be. I'm just following my heart when I do that voice. My heart's telling me to talk like a mobster. Maybe I should switch it to an anime voice. Ugh, you get the course. Wait a second. If he gets the course, he'll be more powerful than even I am. Wait a second. You're telling me he got that course, and now he draws like that? What is that thing? Admit it. That's all anime is. That's all it is. I stumbled in at such an off time. No, friend. That was the on time. That's what this stream is really about. The art's mediocre, the advice is rare, but the anime voice is on point. Also, my analysis of anime as a failed art form, also on point. You forgot the 2-hour inner monologue while staring at the active threat. God, it's all so bad. It's all so bad. It's just not for me. It's just all so literal, you know? It's all just like inner monologues of, ugh, is he seriously gonna try to use his Yahuga powers in this battle? Kasonike is gonna wipe the floor with him. What? An energy reversal? He's better than I thought. Unlike you, I don't have any. I have to be the best. It's like those are the best lines from anime. I mean, Jesus. Does having a tutor help? I mean, if you have a good one, yeah. There's a lot of bad art teachers out there, though, as we've discussed many times on this stream. The inner monologues in Scrubs were just as bad, and yet is hailed as the most accurate depiction of the medical field in TV and film. Is it hailed as that? I didn't like Scrubs either, so... I swear I was this close to turning Super Saiyan. What if your dog loved anime? I don't know, I mean... I would definitely, I would I would withhold treats until she improved her taste, for sure. Steven, do you think it's possible to go from beginner to professional in 2 years of drawing study at home? I mean, like 8 hours a day. It's possible, but not for most people. People have definitely done it, but you got to be pretty... You've got to... I'm going to use the word talent, but I don't mean it in the way it's classically construed. I mean, you can be as bad as you want. You can start as bad as you want. The talent we're looking for here is like, you've got to really have a high capacity for paying attention and for being dedicated and for not being discouraged. Being discouraged is probably the biggest problem. I mean, people have no idea just how discouraging those 2 years are going to be, how many roadblocks you're going to hit. If you want to do it that hard, that fast, you have to be basically impervious to discouragement. You have to push through no matter what. It's hard, you know, and I would advise for most people, like, don't set that up for yourself, because you probably... I've had a lot of students who have come at me strong, and they say to me as believably as anybody else, like, I'm your best student ever. I know I'm the freak of motivation and dedication. I'm unlike everybody else. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, I'm not going to fail you. I will do it. And I'm like, yep. And then they wash out. The odds that you are, statistically speaking, that motivated freak, people asking questions like that, it's because they're on a really brutal timeline. They're like, that's how much money I have, stuff like that. It's like, okay, you know, I get it, but it's going to be easier on you, and it's going to help with the discouragement thing if you can put yourself on a more relaxed timeline, if you can make a peace with going a little bit slower and not rushing, you know? Thank you, Levart. Yep. Happy to have you here. I'm glad you accidentally stumbled on this broadcast. Sorry, moving stuff. All right, everybody. I'm going to cut out. I'm getting hungry and my internet has just not been treating me right, so I'm going to peace out. Oh, you're still here? Yeah, but now I'm leaving. That's funny that you were surprised to find me still here, and then right away I'm like, I'm going now. But I'm really going this time. I'm getting out of here. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I will see you all soon. Probably tomorrow. You know, I'm doing 3 days a week now. This was 2, so probably tomorrow. And hopefully the internet's better tomorrow. I don't know what's going on here. I'll reset everything again, take a look at my modem. I don't know why it was bad today, but it just was not going. Stream has just been... I know you guys see it consistent, but basically once every 2 minutes I'm getting notified that my stream is dead and that it's all over. All right, everybody. Take care. Goodbye, Alexander. Goodbye, Daryl. Goodbye, Jack. Goodbye, Nishio. Goodbye, Pedro. Goodbye, Samuel. Goodbye, Vega. Goodbye, MF. Goodbye, David. Goodbye, Yankee. Goodbye, Strange Bird. Goodbye, Satar. Goodbye, Lev. Goodbye, Barbecue Ted. Just put Ted on the barbecue. Grill him. Grill him up real nice. Put that Ted on the barbecue and grill him up till he dies. Get his skin so crispy, slather him in sauce. Get that barbecue Ted, so tasty. Goodbye, Losted. Goodbye, Colline. Goodbye, MF. Goodbye, Gemmel. Goodbye, Ayub. Goodbye, Min. Goodbye, AP. Goodbye, David. Goodbye, Vega. I don't know who I missed. Goodbye, F-Shock. Goodbye, Alexander. I'm down here. I'm in the corner now. Goodbye, Gabriel. Goodbye, Boolin. Ted is dead. Ted's dead, baby. Ted's dead. It was a teenage wedding and the old folks wished them well. But ding, 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 ding. You could see that Pierre did truly love the mademoiselle. The little money coming worked out well. C'est la vie, say the old folks. It goes to show you never can tell. Goodbye, Colleen. Goodbye, Joseph. My dear Joseph Marziliano. My dear Joseph Marscaponiano. Goodbye, Daryl. All right, everybody. Peace. Happy drawing today.